I believe
Lord.
you.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
All right. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Okay, Tracy. Why is that yelling? Eric.
Because you said it's ghetto.
It is. He said it's
My
ghetto.
sister's so ghetto. She really is. It's so hilarious.
Oh my God.
She is ghetto.
Ghetto.
I can hear you telling these that. I can hear us telling these that. Her really being like, girl, fuck you.
That is so
It's
fucking funny.
It's Perkins.
Percocets?
Perfect response.
Yeah, girl, fuck you is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Bullshit baddies, come chill with Ari and Lee up in the house tonight. Best believe they gon' change your life. Bullshit baddies, those bullshit baddies, bullshit baddies, bullshit baddies, bullshit baddies. Best believe they gon' change your life.
What's up, baddies?
What it do, boo?
How y'all doing today? We are back with our
With another episode.
finale, y'all.
The season finale.
Oh my God.
Finale.
Thank y'all for rocking
Finalies.
with us for season 2.
Dose.
Look, what we talking about today?
Big black cock.
Big black.
Big black
Biggity,
cock.
blackity,
B,
cockity.
C. I love that. I loved that.
That was a good one?
That was a good one.
We're talking about them mandingos,
Mm-hmm.
them macrophalluses. We're talking about
Pause.
big dicks, you guys.
Yeah, she's been wanting to say macro phallus so bad.
I told you I was going to slide it in.
I'm gonna find a way to weave that fucking made up word in. Macro, not micro, macro.
Macrophallus.
Large penis, large canal ocean.
So that's what we're talking about today. I think that it would be a really good tribute to our black men.
We love black men.
We stand black men. So, but for you, why did you think it was a good idea for us to talk about this? Where did this come from?
I was having a really great question, Regis.
I mean,
I was having a really thought-provoking conversation with all right. Okay.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're here. We're in it.
I'm got it now.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. So I was having a really thought-provoking conversation with an individual that talked about
of the black variety,
of the black variety, of the large black variety,
the large
in charge. And they were talking about the body dysmorphia that comes out of porn and how it can be internalized from seeing 12-inch dicks,
Got you.
specifically oceanly.
Yes,
Black dicks,
big black dick,
big black macro
phalluses,
phallicize, Felicia. Feliz Navidad. Okay. So I thought it would be a really interesting topic, especially considering we did clitoris appreciation.
We did.
And although there is another sex, intersex,
Yes.
We're going to, y'all already know what's up. Y'all already know what's up. That nigga be loud. Y'all already know. So I thought it would be really interesting for us to talk about, kind of bring educational perspective from it, help people maybe understand what body dysmorphia is and how that can look, especially when it comes to dick size.
Dick.
It's gonna be a lot of that going on today. Get ready. Yeah, so I think it was fun.
I think so. I'm excited.
We trying to destigmatize.
We are.
Y'all know we be making notes.
We do.
We're trying to destigmatize male sexuality and the average size. Body dysmorphia about the black male penis size and historical implications. That's it. That's all.
So, especially with the historical implications,
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah,
tell
yeah.
y'all, researching this episode brought me down the rabbit hole about where that stigma about black men are supposed to have a big ass dick,
Big
where that came from.
Ass.
And
dick.
it was so fascinating for me.
What'd you learn, girl?
Oh my God. Are y'all ready for this story time?
Are you
I don't know if y'all ready, but
ready?
I'm not even ready, but I'm going to do it anyway.
She's ready. Don't
I'm
worry.
it's so interesting. Okay. So ancient Greece.
Ancient.
Come with me,
Setting.
if you will. Look, come step into with me, if you will.
The time is ancient Greece.
The time is 24 BC.
BC, before Christ. Or if you're fancy, before coronavirus. Before COVID.
Before Coco.
Coco Devoto.
Ancient Greece, 24 BC, there were these shadowy figures
Shadow.
called satyrs.
Satyrs. I'm here to co-sign today.
I hate you.
Oh my goodness.
And these figures were, the thing about them was that they were shadowy, so like the dark, right? That's where we're getting the the
Black.
the blackman.
Blackman.
But they were half naked, so it was like a half man,
naked.
half beast.
Beast.
With
Reality.
like powerful like horse legs.
Horse.
Right?
It's giving
And,
Matador.
like, features like the woolly hair, the broad noses, the thick lips, and things like that.
Yeah.
And then these
Half man, half horse.
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 You see, y'all picking up what we putting down?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
we're throwing it down today.
Hard.
Dick.
So the satyrs were known for their erotic lust,
Erotic.
their fertility,
Fertility.
and the fondness for wine, and then revelry with
That's hot.
unsuspecting nymphs.
Unsuspecting nymphs.
And then, but the three defining features for the satyrs were the large penis, the nymph lust, and then the legs. Right, supposed to be like big legs and stuff like that. So macrophallus,
Macro.
the big ass legs,
Big.
and then just wanting to fuck.
What is it giving?
all the
It's giving
time.
6'5" black man. That's what it's giving right now.
And so what happened was early Christians found this information and they tied it to the qualities of black men, right? Because they were the dark, shadowy figures. When the Europeans went to Africa and they saw the slaves, there were like tales of bestiality and then fornicating with apes. And so this allowed the Europeans to like dehumanize black men, right? Which, if we know, when you dehumanize someone, it makes it so easy to be able to do any and everything with them without remorse.
Yeah.
Right?
It is basically a way to release yourself of guilt would be the best way when you
Exactly.
dehumanize people, for sure.
Exactly. And we can see this being played out in slavery, and how the black men were treated, black men specifically, but black women also, because of the fornication with apes, because of the the satyrs, they were said to be animalistic. That's where the ape thing comes in, and sexual desires, and then that's where aggressiveness comes in. All of these like negative qualities were put on black men because of the ancient Greece and because of early Christians and Europeans.
Yeah, their perspective and how they discussed the shits.
The shits, right?
Yeah, because it's shitty.
So if we know anything about slavery, we know that it was...
Lord, I hope you fucking do. That's all.
We know that for black bodies were both the breeders and the concubines,
Yeah,
right? So not
sexual
only
economy.
Exactly, right? So not only did they buy the largest black men, right? And I think you and I were in a discussion about this, how they would specifically look for the biggest black men with the biggest black dicks, because that was said to increase fertility, right? You would have more babies with,
Isn't much science to it.
no, right? This is all speculation. This is all, in their opinion.
Yeah.
So kind of going again back to like the dehumanization of that too, right? All of these things were really created to strip the black person of their dignity, and really give the white people just a chance to be
Power.
What is it? Superior. That's
There
the
we
word I
go.
was looking for. Superior. So because of that, right? So because we have the shit from ancient Greece, because we have the shit that the early Europeans said they saw, and the bestiality and things like that, we get this term sexual racism. And sexual racism is specifically when we're talking about black men. It is the stereotype that goes along with being black. So black men are supposed to have a big ass dick.
Big.
You can see. Excuse me. And a lot of other things are in line with that. So big feet equals big dick, big hands equals big dick, right? You see tall equals big dick, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Right. In our own experiences, we've been with tall men who had
small dicks.
They was slim thug, you know what I mean? Down there.
Oh, I love that.
They was like,
I love that.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
Know?
But it's just like the socialization part of it as well, especially when you think about like the longevity of sexual racism and how the implications of it are still relevant today.
Definitely.
Like, and you think back to the Girl Talk episode that was specifically said, yeah, you would think he would have a big dick because he was tall, he had big hands, he had big feet.
It is
relevant
generations
today,
right? Generations of stereotypes, not just in the white community, in the black community, and in lots of communities.
Yeah.
You ask anyone, damn near anyone on the street today, what's something that you heard about black men? They're gonna say the same thing. They got a big dick. And it concerns me, which is why I'm so excited to do this episode. It's really concerning because of the implications of that.
Yeah.
You know, what happens if all of your life you're hearing this stereotype that black men's supposed to have a 12-inch, it's
cock,
supposed to reach it's supposed to reach your fucking chest from your penis, from your growing.
You're actually gonna bust guts. Not biologically possible, but like, come on.
And you don't have that, so you end up feeling what? Less than a man.
Low self-esteem. You can definitely be poor self-image. Poor. It could even impact your like sexual desire and your ability to be and feel arousal and experience arousal, and also
impact your ability, your mind, thinking that you're unable to please someone because you don't think your dick is big enough. And the porn industry, of course, doesn't help.
Yeah.
All of these stereotypes doesn't help. The fact that people don't really talk about this shit also doesn't help. And so you're just left in a cloud of your own thoughts by yourself, just kind of fading into the abyss because your penis don't reach your neck.
Throat.
Wait, I can't.
And we're not laughing at the top, but we're laughing like because we're clowns. It's a fucking circus every time. Always. But I do completely agree with you that it does really impact the self-image and the ability to just function sexually and have a good, healthy sexual personality.
Agreed. 100%.
So one of the biggest things that I feel comes out of it is the body dysmorphia.
It does.
Yeah. And for the people who may not know, body dysmorphia is your view of yourself, your mental view of yourself is not an accurate depiction of your physical attributes. So for example, a person with curvy body may not think that they're curvy, and anytime somebody like calls them out on it, they may be like, no, that's not true. That's not me. Because how you see yourself is not actually how you look.
Facts, which is different than a lot of times body dysmorphia and gender dysphoria. They kind of, because they sound so much alike. But gender dysphoria really is believing that you are not the same person on the inside as you are biologically.
Yes.
Right? Which happens with the trans community. And that's kind of how we get that, where I know that I am a man, even though I look like a woman, even though I was born a woman. I know inside and out that I am not, a woman. I'm supposed to be a man. So
and in the context that we're speaking, it would be, I don't have a big dick, therefore I'm less than.
Yes.
And so that would be the difference, just to kind of make that clear here. And so, yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I definitely noticed about. So we're going to refer to our Mel.
We are.
Because, we ain't got dicks. I got big dick energy.
But we don't have any penis.
But not a
penises. We don't
peni.
have peni. We wanted to bring in a male's perspective. And of course, Profizi don't speak for all men out here.
Not at all. He speaks for
but
himself.
he is a black man.
He is a black man.
And we are specifically talking about black men today.
Black man.
But we wanted to be able to have a male's perspective so that it's just not two bitches out here just talking about black dicks. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just us.
Been with plenty. Obviously, I'm an expert.
We wanted to have that different perspective. Hopefully it can be of help to really get into the mind of, you know, another guy. And before we kind of get into that, kind of bringing it back a little bit to like sexual racism and, you know, how black people were bred and, you know, all of these things like that. I know that we're talking about I know that this is like all about the dicks, all about the cocks, but we cannot say that we cannot miss out on the fact that the same thing was done for women, right? Women, when it comes to slavery. Yeah. And the curvier the body, then the higher chance.
The view was the higher chances of fertility.
Exactly. Having more black
birthing
babies.
hips.
Big
Bertha.
Shout out to Bertha.
That's our car.
That's my car, guys. Relax, okay? That's my car. But I thought that it was worth said because I know a lot of times black men and black women are lumped together.
Yeah.
Specifically when we talk about this phenomenon, it is true.
Phenomena.
And they were, you know, oftentimes brought together, bought together for this. I hate you so much. I absolutely hate you. Detest.
That's funny. So Profizi.
So you ready? So this is our question and answer section, guys. You ready?
Yeah.
Shout out to Profizi, guys.
Yeah, we do love you because you be really here for our shit too.
You do,
we
y'all.
be giving it to you.
Y'all, it's so
and
funny.
you don't even know the questions we finna ask you, which is hilarious.
I know.
We're putting him on the spot.
Big baby spot.
So first question. And I want you to not only answer them, but like feel free to elaborate. You got time.
Don't be short.
Don't be short.
No, this is not the
Okay.
time for concise.
So one word answers won't cut it.
No. These are open-ended questions, my love.
Open-ended.
Open-ended.
Okay.
Look, ain't nothing short about us but our hair.
And you can
first
barely
one-
say that because y'all saw how bald I was.
Inch. Okay, first question. When can you recall hearing that black men are supposed to have big dicks?
Supposed.
That's actually a good question.
Or do you have any memories of
yeah,
Of
Hearing
like a
things like
stereotype
this,
or
yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like that?
I would probably say back in high school, because the school I went to, a lot of interracial dating and stuff like that, and you know there were rumors of the reason why a lot of the white women would
Oh my
want
god.
to mess with the black guys.
I love that.
yeah, it's
So
annoying.
I would
but
think probably in high school, not in
Ouch.
my original high school, but at the second high school that I went to, it was a lot more prevalent because it was a smaller town, and you know a lot of it was, I would think, in defiance, like you know for the white women or whatever, they're in defiance. But
There's
a lot of it is
another
because of
episode.
because of a vast majority of it was, from what I heard, was because of you know the genetic makeup of black men down
Come
there.
on, politically correct.
down there.
The genetic makeup.
Right.
So something
of black men, and it's
black
us over here, big cock.
Right, the ultra fallacy.
Something with the white in regards to the white women. Mandingo, something I said earlier. I know, but I gotta say it. But the term mandingo actually refers to a black man's like lust and desire, overwhelming desire for like white pussy. So that's kind of where we get that term from. How
Gross.
how interesting
Yeah,
is that?
I have a lot of feelings.
There's actually a
I
movie.
I need to process that.
There's a movie.
There's a movie
Yeah.
called Mandingo,
Yeah.
and it kind of goes into what you're talking about. It kind of elaborate. I think it's like in the 70s, like a old 70s movie.
That makes sense.
Or whatever, but it kind of talks about that or whatever, and obviously it glorifies the black men and
It does.
and how they look and how they act and stuff like that or whatever. And yeah, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, it definitely is a movie. I would say consider watching just to kind of get an idea of how we were looked upon in those old times, not in the 70s, but because it's based on ancient times, or not ancient, but based on slavery times and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely something
Looked
we're
at
looking into.
as a piece of meat.
Right. Yeah, and I want to say it's
Porterhouse.
a porterhouse thing. Yeah, it's random.
Yeah, I got you. So for you, hearing about it, you heard about it from like white girls and their gossip about they wanting to like defy their families or whatever and go and like sleep with a black man.
Yeah.
Number one,
Because that's what they heard. They heard that
because
they heard we will be able to perform better than white men would.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Did that I know I'm going off a little bit, but like, did that do anything to you? Did that spark curiosity in you? Did that make you start to compare yourself or anything like that?
No, it made me want to mess with a white girl.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
It did at the time, because it was like, okay, if it was, and let me preface it by saying nothing is easy and anything like that. But if it was,
And he's a married man.
yeah, right. But but my viewpoint at the time was, if it was that simple to just get a white girl because they want to check out my meat, then why
Come
not?
on, meat.
Then
Meat
why not?
pistol.
I mean, although I didn't do it or whatever, but it made me interested.
It made
in
you
wanting
want to.
Yeah,
That's
That's
fair.
Take part in it.
I get that. That's so true, because when I was growing up, the term easy was always associated with white girls, the white girls in
Interesting.
school. It was if you want your dick sucked, or if you want all of these,
You want quick pussy.
all of these things done, you go like fuck with a white girl, especially as being a black man, a black guy.
right.
You always go and fuck with the white girls, because the sisters ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
You better be my boyfriend.
We go together.
We have to go together.
Where do we
first,
go?
Before together. But that's so interesting that he says that. I was literally thinking about that the other day. How do you think that? I know we're digressing a little bit, but
First point of the episode.
How do you think it's changed, right, with the term like being easy being associated with like white girls, specifically in like high
I
school
don't
and
think
like
it
early
is
college?
associated with white girls anymore.
Huh?
Yeah, I think it'd be more associated with people of color, especially when you consider that people of color are hypersexualized, which is what we're talking about in this space. In my experience growing up, easy was never associated
With white girls? Really? Did you grow up in a predominantly white area?
It was military based, so it's pretty diverse.
Gotcha. Maybe it's because I was, I grew up in P-Town.
Yeah. That's Plaquemine,
Country,
Louisiana.
in the country, and it was a lot of black people, but it was a good amount of white people too.
And I think that kind of goes back to what I said earlier. It's like it was the defiance of it all. Like, we are in this small town. I mean, considering that Plaquemine is a pretty small town.
Small.
And
Minuscule.
a lot of minuscule. Micro. right.
Micro, not to be confused with macrophallus.
Right. and so having those type of moments or whatever, it's a lot more prevalent over there, because there's nothing really else to do.
But fuck.
But right.
But
So
fuck, I love that.
literally that's all it was. And then it was at the time. I mean, this is back in the times when we were. I would say this is like in the 90s, early to mid to late 90s or whatever. And it was cool to have a black guy for a white woman, for a white girl to have a black girl, black
it was
guy.
rebel. It was rebellious.
It was rebellious,
Yeah.
right? And so, I can definitely see that happening more in the smaller rural towns than a much more diverse town or even a military base or something like that.
Yeah.
That makes
That's
makes
valid.
sense. That's so valid. It reminds me of how sheltered I was.
That's fair.
Were you ever concerned about the size of your penis?
Never. No, let me say this. But I'm being dead serious though. When I say it, but I'm being dead serious.
It was so matter of it's giving confident black man.
Man, look, I was not ready.
It's like, never. Like,
Is this thing on?
guys,
Yeah.
listen up. Never.
Not once. But I will continue to say.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but when you look at porn and how porn has changed the trajectory of how sex is portrayed now, right?
Yeah.
You do get a little bit of penis envy, you know, whenever you see other people,
Great
other
word.
guys.
That is a great word.
Yeah, you see when you see other guys like slanging it, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not that
slanging.
big, but you know, at least I can do a little
Yeah,
something.
there is this like
So-
normalization of 12-inch dicks in porn.
It
It's
is
crazy.
It is, which is funny
And
because
girthy hoes.
right.
Because they're not. Yeah, they're not 12-inch pencil dicks. They're 12-inch cup size.
Round. Coke bottle.
But you know, the fascinating thing is, Coca-Cola.
Cola.
The fascinating thing is, I've talked to several women about this before because I was actually thinking about doing a podcast episode about this.
Beat you to it.
I know, right? Like a couple of years ago, though, I was thinking about doing it.
But we did it first.
Yeah, but y'all
It's
still
like a
did it first.
trademark. Whoever
Right.
got it first always matters.
That's right. That's right. and so I ended up polling a few women, like several women.
Come on, Steve Harvey.
I know, right? And so they all kind of were in agreement when they're saying that, you know, when I asked them, okay, what would be considered the adequate size for you? The majority of them, with the exception of one, was in agreement, like somewhere between 6 to 8 inches is pretty decent. 12 inches is too much. 10 inches is too much for them. You know,
Gotcha.
for them. Now, I mean, obviously everyone is different, everyone is different, but that's one of the things that I've gathered. You know, like, okay,
It's a personal preference.
it's a personal preference, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I like that. I really like the fact that you polled people.
yeah,
It got your
Evidence based.
right. We took a poll of 100 people,
Right.
And they said this Family Feud style. So
You bald like Steve, too.
I know. So you've never been concerned about yours, but something you said earlier is that with the penis envy, did you ever find yourself comparing the size of yours to other people, whether it was like high school locker room or whatever goes down in
Do
the
guys
guys' locker
just
room?
talk about their dick size?
Like, was that a conversation?
yeah. I mean, when I was younger, we did.
What were those conversations like?
It would be like,
He giving locker room secrets.
well, yeah. Well, okay. So it would be more conversations based on how the woman reacted to the dick size, not
Got
necessarily
it.
the actual dick size, but how the girl reacted
I pulled
to
this
it.
shit out and,
And
she
she was
about
like-
passed out.
Yeah,
She
you're
was
right.
like,
She was like, damn.
where you putting that at?
Right. And so it was more of those type of conversations. And, you know, we used to have conversations like my little clique or whatever. We would have conversations like that all the time, you know. Yeah, that's really what it was. It was, we never really pulled it out or anything and compared it.
That's how I pictured it.
I did too. That's
like
why
we're
I was
just in a
curious.
No, we're
circle
not like
in the
that.
locker
Like,
room.
let's
Like,
see.
But there is, which is so funny because I remember I saw a video, I don't know, maybe this was about a month ago. I saw a video where there's a trend with guys that do that now. I think it was, what was the trend? Where like they watch porn all at the same time and they compare their dick sizes, you know, once they watch the
To
porn.
the
or whatever.
porn?
Yeah,
Or
to
to
the
each
porn.
other?
To the porn.
Oh.
Well, no, they compare their dick sizes to each other, but they'll watch porn first.
so they
So
can
they
get
get
it
hard?
right.
So they can get aroused. Yeah, so
Gotcha.
they can get hard. And then once they get, where did I read that?
That is
It was,
so
It's almost like
interesting.
bukkake.
It
I know, right? It
Yeah,
does. It actually
it's very
does.
similar to that to me.
But it's where I remember seeing it on Instagram that they talked about that or whatever, and one of the ladies was like, "Yeah, this is an actual trend now."
That's interesting.
I would
so
never take part in
interesting.
anything like that, but
right. Because
Yeah.
like
People
why?
do. Yeah,
right?
why?
get
I mean,
that.
there's no point. There's no point
It's
in
very
doing
much
it.
giving internalized homophobia.
It is.
I'm just
Secret
trying to see.
homophobia.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to see some
something.
dick.
Trying to see something, right? But yeah,
So
Yeah.
let's make it a trend.
Let's make it a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. So you said that y'all would compare, but the comparison would really be not looking at it, not in
just
a circle.
more conversation.
Not
Yeah,
a
more
fucking-
talking about
not
it.
a dick circle.
Yeah, we ain't throwing that
There's
dick in
no-
the circle.
We're not
and that
throwing
like
a
that.
dick in the circle.
Throw that dick in the circle. No, we ain't doing
Why
that.
is that not a song already?
Because that's disgusting.
I love
in my
it.
opinion. In my
We gotta throw that ass in the circle.
Why do we
gotta
have throw that dick in
the
a circle? Because now I'm picturing a fucking like
like
windmill.
literally just around, bitch, around and around it goes.
Bring it around town.
Oh, that is so funny. I got you though. So the comparison really was based on the reaction of others. It wasn't necessarily like look at the size of my dick.
right. No,
Got
it wasn't
you.
that. It
Got
wasn't
you.
that at all. in my circle, like
in your
in my
circle.
yeah.
Got you.
That's
Understood,
fair.
understood.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So has your view of like the quintessential big black cock has that changed for you over
Shit, you
time?
scared me.
Like has the stereotype, is it still there, or have you changed in like your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I've definitely changed because, again, watching porn and stuff like that, you as a guy, I do tend to have, or I used to tend to have penis envy or whatever, but now it's more like, okay, cool. I mean, I actually like to watch those type of videos with the BBC or the interracial or the stuff like that or whatever.
Come on,
it's
diversity.
not right, and it's not because I'm interested in big black cock, but it's just that watching. I want to get more moves. I want to get better moves and better techniques. I guess you can say.
I respect that.
Yeah, come on. You're what you call it? Research.
Yeah.
Research.
Yeah, I'm
purposes.
researching. Yeah,
There we
for
go.
research purposes only.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing.
I really appreciate
We appreciate that.
Seriously. And then kind of, so you guys, look, give it up to Profeezy because he did not have to get on here and answer these questions, but because he loves us so much, he was willing to answer these for us.
Subject himself to torture.
Look, we wasn't as bad as we could have been. We were, we kept it.
Always keep that in mind.
Look,
it can get worse.
It can get worse. Thank you so much for that. And I think kind of segueing into that is that if you do struggle with body dysmorphia, there's help for it, right? It doesn't have to stay that way. There are ways that you can really work through it because at the end of the day, it's a mental health issue.
Yeah, for sure.
It's something that affects your brain because it's the way that you see yourself is not the way that you're actually presenting. And it doesn't have to stay that way.
Yeah, and it has real implications.
It
It can
really
lead to
does.
depression, anxiety, performance anxiety. So there's definitely help out there. If you feel like this may be relevant to you, we definitely encourage you to like seek out a therapist that can
Yes.
help you. Any therapist can really help, but a sex therapist may be better.
Specifically on this?
Should can really kind of hone in to help you kind of deconstruct your self-image if this is something that may be impacting your life and especially your sexual life.
I love that. One of the things that we talked about when it comes to having help with this was pleasure mapping, perfecting your stroke game. So let's say that you don't have a big black penis, right? Let's say it's average.
Average penis size is about
5.5.
5.5 inches. So when you think about the size of the vagina canal and how long it is, it's about, I believe it's like 3 or 4 inches. So if the average size of a dick is 5 inches, it's bigger.
It's big enough.
It's big enough.
Yeah. Keep that in mind too. So if you are someone who is struggling with the size of your penis, then if you think about the actual stat, the 5.5 inches stat, keep in mind though, for our fellas, y'all are a quarter inch bigger than like y'all do got a quarter inch on like our white, y'all white counterparts. So
when
that's,
you hard or
that's
whatever.
something to be excited about. But but keep that in mind. Some women say that they want like a bigger dick, but the vagina is only so big. The box is only so big.
Yes, it does dilate.
It does,
To 10
of course.
centimeters.
It does.
I'm just saying.
I can't stand you.
I'm just saying. Just throwing another stat out. Just letting it be known.
It does, but the average penis size should be enough for the average vagina size. Did I say that right?
No, but your point is clear.
Clean it up.
Yeah. So essentially, like if you have a penis that you feel is below average or smaller, you're okay.
You are.
And we say that because there are different, like pleasure mapping, understanding your partner's pleasure points, whether that be internally, like actually inside of the vagina, or if you're gay, if it's in the anus. prostate.
Prostate.
Understanding like where those parts of the body are, how to navigate that. Because if you have a penis size and you're erect and it's less than 5 inches, that's still
That's
fine.
okay.
You can do a lot with that.
With a
as long as
4 inch dick.
yeah, as long as you understand
What to do.
what your
Effective
partner
stroke
wants
game.
and how to be able to reach pleasure, and not even reach, just how to be able to experience pleasure with the individual or individuals that you're having sex with at that time.
Exactly. There's also different positions that will allow you to get deeper.
Yeah.
If that's something that your partner needs. Or
Put that
something
bitch in
you
a full
need.
Nelson.
Facts.
Put her in a fucking full Nelson. Put him in a full Nelson. Get them in a fucking full Nelson. Lose their damn mind. Facts. That is science.
Every every time.
Every time.
And specifically again for the body dysmorphia.
Why did you, what are you thinking about?
I was just thinking about the full Nelson.
Who told us that? Where were we? We were out. You know exactly. We were out somewhere. Some fucking one of our little nephews or little cousins kept saying some crazy ass shit, and all I remember, we were at a water park. He was like, "Cause I'm gonna put somebody in a fucking full Nelson." I'm about piss myself. It was so funny. And another side note, I've been watching a lot of like animal chiropractor stuff.
I love that shit.
There's a guy, I think he's German or something, but he puts dogs in full Nelsons to crack their back. It's so fucking funny.
Dog dick matters too.
Dog dick matters. We do not discriminate against dick. We're not fucking dogs.
We're not
but
fucking
dog
dogs. Okay,
dick
we're
matters.
not beasts. Bestiality. We're not.
It's actually illegal. So if that's your thing, just don't get caught.
Please don't. So it's necrophilia.
Ew.
There's a backstory behind that, and that'll end up being a fucking episode because I will actually fight Alicia on camera behind this one. It will be a scene. Please continue.
Oh shit.
Because necrophilia is fucking worse than bestiality. The hell.
So anyway, back to the dicks.
Back to the
right?
dog.
Our recommendation
to the
though
cocks.
to start if you're willing is always therapy.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Other things that you can work on though, if you're not willing to go to therapy, is trying to accept the penis that you have and learning how to work with it. Working on like trying to stop comparing yourself to other people because that does nothing for you, but leads you to feeling like shit in the end.
Shitty pants.
Things like that. So I hope that's helpful. But one of the things that you said, which is extremely true, is the average penis size for a man is 5.5 inches. I forget. I'm trying to think of, because there was a study that actually showed that, and it was something like thousands. It was thousands and thousands of. It was a really like macro longitudinal study that.
There you go. You found it.
I know. I'm like, wait, what's the word? Bitch ain't been in school in a while, so I don't be remembering this shit. But so that's kind of how they got to the 5.5 inches, and then also that's how they got to that the average black man's penis is about a 1/4 inch larger than the white man's penis when it's erect. And we talked about like pleasure mapping and things like that. Male sensuality and sexuality. What are your thoughts on that?
Let it be fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that in general about sexuality, that it's on a spectrum and there's no right way to engage in sex and sexuality as long as there's consent involved.
Yes.
So in regards to like male sexuality, especially if you think about black male sexuality, there's a lot of very, in my opinion, harmful narratives that are implicated onto black men. Yes. Like you're supposed to be aggressive and you're supposed to be dominant and all of these things that take away from intimacy and sensuality. And intimacy and sensuality and vulnerability are very vital aspects when you think about pleasure. In my opinion,
necessary.
Without those three, experiencing pleasure may be more difficult. True, like all senses pleasure. So having that understanding that black men are kind of put into this box that they can't be soft or they can't have any
like there's something wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with a black man. Oh my God, I literally just did a speech on this. I did a speech
With
and
the
I
cubes.
with the cube, no. I was about to try to put up a sign, but then I realized I can't be doing that because it's not okay. But not okay. I'm not a Q, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm in not a sorority or anything.
Nothing.
Not okay. But I literally just did a speech on like masculinity and how. What did I say? I think I said vulnerability, empathy, and it was like maybe integrity or something like that. And I asked them, you know, what do these words have in common? And they were like, I don't know. So I explained to them how they were connected to masculinity, but not like toxic masculinity like we see and the one that we know.
Yeah, the
but
alpha male syndrome.
right? Healthy masculinity, because it takes a strong person to be able to let somebody in, be vulnerable enough with someone so that they can see the real you, right? It takes a strong person to have the integrity, be honest with someone, even if it might hurt their feelings,
Yeah.
right? All of those things. And then it takes...
And there's a level of empathy that goes with that.
Exactly, right?
Which correlates to integrity.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, all of those things are not, when we think of those words, a lot of people think of them as like more feminine traits. Although like masculinity and femininity, we have both.
Yes.
But being able to lean into your masculinity does not mean that you cut off your femininity as well.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act. And being able to be in that space, it's so beautiful and it's healthy.
It's really healthy.
You know, and who wouldn't want and it's the same thing with like sensuality and sexuality. Like it's this balancing act of being able to experience these things without worrying about what society says you have to be.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to, as a man, whether your penis is as big as the fucking Eiffel Tower or as like small as my pinky finger, you do not have to allow society to tell you that's not okay,
Yeah,
right? Like
that
they
you're
don't get
inadequate
to they don't
because of
get
that.
to they don't get to say that about you. It is up to you, and sometimes you need help, but it's up to you to really decide how you want to be and how you allow this to affect you.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't have to affect you in that way. Again, sometimes you need a little bit more help with therapy. And that's
You
that on
already know
that.
we gonna plug therapy every time, bitch. Every fucking time.
And that's that on that.
Yeah. for
Every
real.
time. Now, if you have concerns and you think that maybe there is something wrong, go to the damn doctor.
Yeah, please start with a physician.
We stand physicians. They're here
Yeah.
for a reason. We love them. We need them. We support them. Go to the doctor.
If they clear you, there's no medical concerns, which there rarely are.
Yeah.
Medical concerns about penis size.
Penis size.
Penis function, different.
That's a different story.
But penis size, there's very rarely, in my experience, that there have been medical conditions correlated to that.
Yeah.
So if you have concerns, please go to a physician, get checked out. If they clear you and you're still experiencing like symptoms of anxiety and depression because of how you view yourself and how you maybe have internalized your penis size, then therapy would be a really, really good aspect or just an option. Yeah, to help process that.
Agreed.
Because that is something, especially when you think about it, like your genitalia is very essential to like who you are.
Who you are.
Yeah, it can be really correlated to your self-esteem and your self-image
Self-worth,
and
of
all
that.
of those things. So it's understandable if society has put these stereotypes out about like black men have dicks like horses.
Yeah.
And all like that directly correlates to
really
satire.
harmful
It
to
can be
someone
really,
who
really
does not have
harmful
that
to
same experience.
and really difficult to kind of deconstruct that on your own. Not saying it's not possible, it just may be really difficult. And ideally, with the help of a therapist, it can be done in a healthy way. And you can also learn skills and techniques to help improve your sexual life.
Yeah. Come on, life. Sexual life.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's on par with sexual career.
Yeah.
All of,
You gotta
all
have a
of
sexual
those-
life to have a
all
sexual
of those are
career.
good. I know. Facts. I love
Yeah.
how all of this shit is like interconnected.
For sure.
Do we have anything else to say about this?
Yeah. Do you feel that there are any other ways to maybe increase sexual confidence?
Yes. Getting to know your body. This is really similar to like pleasure mapping. But getting to know what you like as a, just like we say the same advice for vulva owners, we're going to say the same thing for penis owners.
Because this can still be correlated to trans individuals
so
who have a penis constructed.
Exactly, right? So exploring yourself, seeing what you like. It's the same thing with like giving head, right? Like when you're giving head to, someone with a penis, it's like you're not going to just do the same thing, over
you
and
got to
over
be in there
again. You
doing
have
a
to
lot.
be,
It's called a job, a blow job,
blowjob.
for a reason. You should be paid for that shit. I'm gonna breathe and suck and swallow. It's just a lot.
It's a bunch of things going on at once.
Somehow you're still supposed to like stay alive. Crazy.
But just like you would expect someone to not do the same thing every time. They're giving you a blowjob. Well, like what do you like so that you can be able to give direction. And then another one, which is really, really fun, is if you do have a partner that is willing to explore with you in a safe way, especially if you're concerned about the size, so that you can get really good positive feedback, constructive feedback that is, supportive and positive to really help you perfect the things that, that'll help you please them better. If that's like your issue, right? If you want to do this to please someone, but it doesn't have to be about anyone else.
You can still do all of the things that we're recommending with yourself.
Yeah,
you can pleasure map with yourself. You can touch on your body. You can touch your penis to see different parts, because yes, the penis gets erect, but there's still different parts of the penis that are very sensitive to different types of touches.
Yes. And
exploring your penis alone can help you when you do eventually decide to have partner sex, if that's something you choose to do for yourself.
That you want to, right? I mean, because you could be a slowly lonely all by yourself, forever, and that's
forever,
fine.
and that's absolutely fine.
Slowly
lonely.
That's
That's what she always says. That shit. It don't make much sense either. Yeah. So at the end of the day, there's no right way to experience pleasure
at all,
as long as there's enthusiastic and ongoing consent.
Can I get a yes?
Yeet.
Can I get an enthusiastic yes?
Yeah.
There we go.
So knowing that about yourself, having that understanding, being willing to try things. Just try. There's no right way to do it. The only knowledge it's only going to give you information, and that information can be positive or negative, however you decide to categorize it. But you have that choice and that power to choose that for yourself.
Power to choose.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect place to end.
I think so, you guys.
Yeah. How'd you feel? It was good for me. Was it good for you?
So good for me.
Yeah. This is our season finale.
This is our season finale, guys.
It's crazy.
Listen.
Thank you guys for rocking with us these last 2 seasons. This first season, we appreciate y'all more than y'all even know. We love the support. We love the engagement that we're starting to get. Catch us on TikTok, because apparently the talkers fuck with us.
The tick of the talk.
They fuck with us.
We be talking, guys.
Look about it. All right. So please, season 3 will be coming out shortly.
Yep.
Keep an eye out. There may be some merch on the way. Look, just a little bit. We
might have special things out
in the off season.
We're excited.
We're gonna keep giving you content because we love interacting with you guys.
We do.
Maybe some tequila tasting, because a bitch loves.
Tell us what y'all think about
tequila.
that. Of us doing maybe a little series where we taste tequila and give honest feedback.
Honest, because your girls are gonna eventually have a tequila brand.
We could probably even do live.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
But yes, you guys are appreciated. Thank you so much. Don't forget to catch us on all platforms at
The BS Baddies.
We love you guys. Couldn't have done this shit without them.
Thumbnail.
Bye, guys. We love you.